Hey, Mike, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm well. So I want to introduce you to Mike Spring. He's actually one of our upcoming instructors. We're very honored to have him. A lot of experience in the film business, in all types of aspects of the film business. But his basic love is drawing, correct, Mike? When did you
Absolutely.
start?
In middle school, I decided to make the switch from pencils to pens, and for whatever reason, the line quality appealed to me, and it just stuck with me, and I learned how to cover up my mistakes by adding even more ink. As because you can't really, I mean, there were inks back in the day that you could erase, but it's fun to develop a technique where you get comfortable with drawing with the pen, and if there are mistakes, you find ways to cover them up.
That's awesome. I mean, one of the reasons we selected and invited Mike to give us, all of his great knowledge in October was because October is also known to artists as Inktober. Tell us what Inktober is and what its significance is to us.
Well, it started through an American artist who his name is Jake Parker, and he started uh, this event where on Instagram called Inktober, and what it is 30 days of people submitting their ink drawings over the course of the month of October, and it kind of gives whoever's uh, interested in doing this a way of drawing every day for a whole month. So you have to have that commitment to not only draw, but then to post your drawing on Inktober along with other artists. And it became a regional phenomenon, and now it's an international thing. So a lot of great artwork. And you don't have to be a professional artist to do this. It's any level of drawing capability from a beginner to, someone who's been doing it for decades. So
Yeah, the
don't be
emphasis is
afraid.
really on daily drawing, right? Like just getting you, like,
Yeah,
to show up each day and do a drawing of whatever type. Not necessarily don't
absolutely.
have to upload it, but the idea is
True.
just to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. Not you certainly aren't um uh, you certainly don't need to post, but it does give you the opportunity to do so if you want to. And these don't have to be finished pieces. It could be just fragments of an idea, or all the way to a full blown ink pen and ink illustration.
I know, and I know you've been a frequent contributor. So
Yeah.
I thought what we do is in the next little section of our interview, I'm just going to show one of the time lapse videos of one of your drawings. So, Mike, can you show us some of the images from the sketchbook before we look at the time lapse video? Because I know a lot of the images in the time lapse video are taken from little drawings that you do.
Yeah,
Can you show us some of those little drawings?
sure. I have my latest sketchbook right here. Let me get to a page
Oh my
for
gosh,
what you're
look at
talking
these.
about.
Ah, this is so amazing.
Yeah, I try with
Like,
this sketchbook specifically, I tried to fill each page as much as I could. And that
how long
way,
does it take you to do something like that? I can see all kinds of
well,
things. Like it
if
looks
I'm
like
drawing,
cabbages and like you're like drawing from all kinds of things, flowers and
yeah,
different things, and you're
yeah,
drawing.
most of this work is from my head. I'm not really looking at reference material. If I draw every day in this sketchbook, which I didn't, it might take me, I'd say, a good 2 or 3 months to finish it, but it took me quite a while because like I said, I wasn't drawing every day, but there would be some days where I would fill multiple pages. But my
Wow.
idea was to try and fill one page a day. If I was inspired or not, just force myself, kind of like what Inktober forces people to do. It's like you may not have the feeling to want to draw every day for a month, but Inktober's there to kind of like push you along, kind of force you to do that, get out of your, you might not be in a comfortable zone to do it, but you're kind of, being egged on to do so. So here's a few more drawings.
Awesome. Okay, good. So let's cut now and go over and look at the time lapse video. So that was amazing, Mike. Thank you so much for letting us for sharing that. I just want
Of
to
course.
ask you something like so in our workshop, can anybody do the workshop? I mean, you obviously are very experienced. Can
Oh
anybody
yeah.
do it?
Oh yes. I hope people of all skill levels join in. It's certainly, I'm going to provide a lot of information for beginners as well as people who have been doing it for a long time. My techniques might be new to some people. Um, and it's really just going to be a great 2 hour period where we can go over a lot of ideas. I'm going to go over a lot of examples. I'm going to be drawing. We're going to be going over Inktober, and we'll be going over the prompts. Prompts for Inktober are words that are assigned to each year's Inktober in case you don't really have an idea of what you might want to draw. Each day has a prompt. It could be house or hike or car or maybe a feeling, sadness or uh, ecstasy or whatever. So it gives you these prompts gives you an idea for what you might draw for that day.
Awesome. So this is October 6th. It's on Sunday. Starts at 10:30 Pacific time. That's 12:30 East Coast time, your time. And here's one of the things you guys need to know. Mike is a very experienced teacher. He currently teaches for the LA Film School, which is there are two LA Film Schools. When he first told me, I said, "How do you teach at the LA Film School in LA and you live in Florida?" I said, "Oh, I just go to Orlando." So, which is the second LA Film School, makes
Right.
sense, just close to Disney.
Yeah.
Mike, what do you teach there, just very briefly?
I teach digital painting one, which is a freshman level class, and I teach environment design, which is a senior level class.
And in environment design, you're learning to think up, like, if your storyline ends up being in a bedroom, a teenage bedroom, you work out how
Correct.
to create that environment or out
Yeah,
in the
the students
street.
the students come up with like a 2 page explanation or idea of what their environment will look like. So they have somewhat of a backstory, and the environment they create could either be an interior or an exterior. It could be the interior of a vehicle, or it could be, a canyon wide epic scene, uh, out in the open.
Yeah, and
So
I know that you encourage your digital students, your newcomers to pick up the pens and be drawing all the
yes,
time, right?
yeah, I try and persuade them to go the route of traditional media, pencil, pen, markers. But certainly, if students want to go the digital route, that's a great. I think that's probably a quicker workflow to get from point A to point B. But it's a great opportunity for the student to practice their traditional
So
skills.
people could come to this workshop who love to. We have a lot of members who love drawing on their iPads. They'd be able to
Oh
do
yeah,
this very well.
absolutely. Yeah,
Awesome. Okay,
yeah.
good. So we'll look forward to seeing you on October the
Likewise.
6th. That sounds super fun. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for joining us
Thank you,
today.
Kelly. All right.